passive that game, and you can't play passive when you have Lyra with Ataka in a duel.
It may well be the fact that Justman could be their shot caller, perhaps, and without his in-game communication, they're starting to struggle. Well, the draft is well and truly underway. Kestrel and Baron bound away, and then Grace and Vox locked in. Definitely a good start to the draft for Mouse here. Yeah,
I really like this draft. Idris ban comes out. This is like the typical Mousesports ban. Is they ban Baron and they ban Idris. They take Vox, but Vox is very good into Grace because he's mobile. He can dance and jump around her. It's really hard to land a Holy Nova on a good Vox. So I think here Dynasty will most likely ban like Samuel, because Samuel along with Vox is very good into Grace. The constant slow, the mobility, the Frostburn. So I feel like Samuel... Oh, they're actually going to ban Finn, because Finn is also a good counter against Grace as well, because he can stand his ground, he can't be stunned.
Yeah, Finn definitely always going to be a useful addition to any team, but it does mean that Lyra is going to go on through. So Vox, Lyra, two very powerful picks for Mouse so far.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Mousesports. When they go with this draft, they know how to play against Grace. They're one of the few teams that has been able to regularly defeat Grace. You know, it's not many teams that can say that, and so they know what to do against this hero. That's why I'm really glad that they banned away the Baron, allowed the Grace to go through. If anything, it's, like I said, something that they know what to do to deal with. The Scarf pickup, though, for Dynasty, this is something that's going to be a little bit of a change of pace for them.
I was about to say Riku Mezza's got his Black Feather again, but with the Scarf, I would assume that one goes over to Riku Mezza instead.
Yeah, it's going to be a Jungle Scarf and a Weapon Black Feather. So I like the composition. It makes sense because Grace and Black Feather want to dive. Scarf wants to do damage from the back line. So this is actually a pretty decent composition on Dynasty side. I think Mousesports here with a composition that wants to dive, Samuel is really good into that, because as long as he uses Drifting Dog properly, he can then use Mass Invert to slow and slow down the dive and do a lot of damage AoE, because Grace and Black Feather will be on top each other, so to speak. So Samuel's only picked up, and Samuel and Lyra is just a meta composition. It's very strong. I really like Vox and Apple here.
Yeah, Vox is going to be very strong. Both Vox and Samuel, they like these elongated fights. They like to be able to consistently poke down, and then once you get to the late game, once like breaking point stacks are on your Vox, for example, you can start to clean things up. But on the other side, Scarf's a big fan of long fights as well, so we'll have to see how these ones go. How are we feeling these compositions have panned out? Is this going to be a dramatically different game to what we saw in Game 1 in terms of how these guys have to play this out?
It should be. It should be dramatically different as long as Mouse plays to this composition, don't make a lot of the silly mistakes that we saw in Game number 1. I think Mouse actually has a really good shot of winning this one. They've got the counters, they've got the ways to deal with Grace. The big question is going to be, will they be able to deal with this Scarf if the game goes late?
Okay, what do you reckon, Sweetjay? Can they play around this Scarf?
The draft is pretty even, I would say, based on who's going to outplay who, but I really like Afro and Vox. So I think I'm going to go with Mousesports here. Hopefully they pull the win.
Okay, we could well have a 3-game series on our hands, but a lot still to play for. This is an even draft. Let us know who you're supporting. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Get involved in the conversation and get online. But we're about to get this game online as well, as it's time to pass it over once again to our casters for the second game of the series.
Thank you very much, Munchables. The man, the host, the legend, passes it over one more time to myself and Shingle Bells. We're ready for Game 2, Dynasty Gaming, taking on Mousesports here. And Mouse, a little bit better draft than Game 1, according to our analysts. Shinny.
A little bit. I feel like we are seeing them a bit more in their comfort picks. I think we were saying before the game starts that I certainly believe that I'm the Doom is a bit more comfortable on those crystal ranged heroes. The Taka for him, for me, felt a little bit off. And
was that because he X-Retsued into the gauntlet and stuff like that?
It's not just that. I feel like every other time I've seen him playing Taka, I've always felt, I don't think this is his best hero. And it's so apparent when you see him play heroes like Samuel and heroes like that Crystal Kester. You're like, damn, this guy's really good. And then also seeing Apfel and that Vox, they are going back to what they're used to, and I think that's really key in this. And however, Dynasty Gaming as well, that Scarf, I feel like it's a bit of a wild card, but I do like it. It gives them the chance to really push at those parts in the late game, and this would certainly be a 3-game series.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Dynasty Gaming, PT Liam using the Minion Candy for the second game in a row. Maybe this is something that they're trying to do. I mean, compositionally, it's going to be okay for him here. and he's kind of bullying out Apfel in the moment. Our junglers are kind of playing games with each other. Mowgli poking. He's going to jump in with the Benediction onto I'm the Doom. Ghost gets him the heal, the reposition backwards. PT Lamb dropping down from the lane. The lane's in a great position due to that minion candy, so they can have a 3-man Elder Treant party here pretty easily.
I like it. The minion candy was certainly a big key element of that. Like, it allowed him to push the right lane right up into Apfel, so he could help his teammates if needed for those aggressive jungle pushes, which they weren't able to execute, but they got the Treants, which you want for Rikumetsu and Mowgli. And I want to see them consistently having those candies, because this is the opportunity I sense coming out from Dynasty Gaming, is that, especially with that Scarf there, if they're able to do a 3-man push with the minion candy, Scarf uses a Spitfire and then goop onto the turret, they can burn those turrets really fast, burn those turrets down really quickly. And that is one of the components of an early game Scarf, is that you have the ability to push down those objectives quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we talk all the time about compositionally. How is this team fight going to stack up against this team fight? We'll hold that Drifting Dark. Mouse Verdict not connecting on the first round, but the second round will splashing onto Dynasty Game and Mowgli. PT Lamb taking a bunch of damage. Mouse on the chase, but not able to take anybody down. I think that's a big thing that, you know, you have to keep in mind with Scarf. He's so good at taking the objectives. PT Lamb, so much damage coming out. Mowgli actually holding a Protector contract this game.
I like it. Yeah, the Protector contract I think works really well with the Grace. What we're seeing in the jungle is that she's getting right up into their faces there, and especially when you do have a Vox there and a Samuel, they are going to be hit by that poke quite easily. So having that Protector contract there allows her to be a little bit more aggressive. But right now we are seeing Scarf and Samuel being a little bit
PT Lamb got every last hit under that turret. You see, that was
good.
like a double wave. He got every single one. I'm pretty sure that was good.
Yeah, he's keeping up with Apple 27-25, and in the jungle as well, it's very even there as well, 16-18. So in terms of farm, both of the teams are very well matched so far.
Both teams very evenly matched up. Small net worth, of course, for Dynasty at this point. I'm really curious to see how the Scarf's gonna do as we get into these fights later on. You know, I'm the Doom. He has to fight around that Drifting Dark, so you know, Dynasty try to wait it out. They just try to outplay them in the middle of the fight, even if that comes out, even if the Samuel's empowered with his Malice and Verdicts. Currently, Malice and Verdict comes out. Malice connects onto Mowgli. They're going to be fighting over this Elder Treant. Goops down, it's burning, and that's going to go to I'm the Doom, I'm pretty sure. Mowgli jumps forward with the Benediction? No. Yeah, he did actually use that. PT Lamb dropped, on point, connects. They can't chase anybody down.
They can't. No, they can't. I think this is going to be quite a passive start. We are actually seeing that for the first 4 minutes. There's no kills being carried out so far. But looking at the composition coming from Dynasty Gaming, I am a big fan of the weapon Blackfeather. I think in terms of chase and in terms of actually damage execution, there's a lot there to be said for PT Lab. And if Rikumetsu picks up at Eve first, there's so much sustain that they have in those team fights. Because I feel like weapon Blackfeathers, there's such a standard build for them that works extremely well. You know, you go for that Serpent's Mask, or you go for that Breaking Point or something. There's just get 2 tier 3 damage items, and they just completely focus on defensive items. And it's so hard to try and focus that Blackfeather down because he's able to get right
when he gets that Holy Shield as well.
Uh-oh, that's not good. And the Divine Intervention as well, so he's able to sustain at the front line so much longer.
So much sustain, so much protection. Yeah, PT Lamb is going to be a monster as the game goes on. And we'll see if he's able to execute. Benediction jumping forward. Mowgli just trying to play some games here. So Rikumetsu on the right Tri-Brush drops the goop, but you might be caught out here, Rikumetsu. What are you thinking? Immediately regrets his decision. He's put to sleep the Oblivion, and Apfel's there to clean it up. Apfel dropping low. Fountain should keep him alive, though, as it does come out. Gold Miner needs to drop its aggro off there. It might hit him one more time on his way out. A nice little turn up from Mouse for the first blood here.
Very nice turn up. I do feel part of that was coming out to Rikumetsu being a little bit too far forward, not knowing the position of Mousesports, all 3 of them. It was a 3v1 situation. And also it was a bit unfortunate Mowgli did not have the fountain available. He does have enough money to pick it up now. And it was just a bit unfortunate positioning there coming out from Dynasty Gaming. But Mousesports, this is what they need. Because this is a triple poke composition there. They can't really go in for those dives that they were able to do the previous game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was just a big mistake. You can't be making those mistakes. Malice and Verdict connecting on to PT Lamb from I'm the Doom, and Mouse kind of poking onto this tier 1 turret here. It's going to give a little time for Mowgli to rotate up, throws out his Benediction, not going to hang around for some Holy Nova business. Only level 4 on the Grace currently. We're gonna need some levels to come out here, because you get such a huge power spike when you get that ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now we do with that Lyra, she's been able to throw out those sigils from level 1. So Mousesports are getting that extra sustain that Dynasty Gaming don't have. And to be honest, if you look at the competition wise, Dynasty Gaming, they are playing a competition that takes a little while to ramp up. Okay, rip PT Lamb.
Yeah. He just got smoked. He just got caught out and smoked.
So it takes a little bit of time for them to ramp up, as I was saying, and I don't think we're expecting really any great plays coming up from not because that their Dynasty or Gaming are bad, but because in terms of composition, I'm not expecting any of those super cool plays coming out until like 10 minutes, 15 minutes when they do get to that power spike.
Well, we'll keep that in mind. I find it so weird, like the rotations that Dynasty have made. Like it's almost 100% their fault that they've died both times. Now, of course, Mouse capitalizing on those opportunities is always important. And we'll see if they can continue to do so. As 3 up in the lane, Dynasty Gaming have collected themselves and they're looking to defend here. PT Lamb just trying to get all these last hits. Riki Meza trying to poke the Spitfires. He'll drop the goop. It's not going to be ignited here. This is Mouse putting out a good amount of damage. Mowgli actually getting focused down. And constant Malice and Verdict's coming out of Vine of Doom. He has his Frostburn. He's sitting on an infusion. So he hasn't chosen to go ahead and pop that infusion yet. It could give them just that little extra burst they need in and through these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And the box as well, the weapon box with the resonance. So even those weapons are still doing a lot of damage there.
Yeah, this turret's going down. There's nothing Dynasty Gaming can do. Wait for it. Comes out. Apfel just letting him know, hey, I have my ultimate and I'm willing to use it.
They're absolutely going to use it. But the whole time, Scarf, Rikamitsa, he has been taking away their farm. So that's a really good play coming out from him. But unfortunately, we are going to be seeing Mousesports gain that gold mine as well with not much contest. So right now we are in the position where Dynasty Gaming, they're 2k gold behind. They've lost 1 turret. But all is not lost because, as I've said time and time again, this is a late game composition. I'm waiting for this comp to come on board. So Rikamitsa, he's gone for that Frostburn. Really good first item pickup. PT Lamb, he has not much defense, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting him to pick it up that early on.
Well, as far as his, I mean, you talked about the build coming out. His next weapon item, what would it be?
What would it be? So he's got that sustain. He's got that broken shiv. The shiv. Broken shiv. I think I just combined 2 items there to make
Yeah,
it
it's okay. He's got his poison shiv, his tension bow. So I mean, it's either I'm thinking breaking point, maybe he goes for Serpent's Mask, but it's all up to him.
I think for Breaking Point or Serpent's Mask, either or would be fine. I think he could go for either. I would be like, okay, that makes complete sense for Blackfeather to be going for that. He's got a lot of armor pierce right now, which makes sense because that is definitely something we'll be expecting Mousesports to be prioritizing as we get further and further into the game. So right now, just probably getting that Aegis first because I'm the Doom is doing so much in every single team fight with those Malice and Verdicts. He's landing them every single time. And to be honest, this is I'm the Doom. His crystal range, his prowess on those crystal range heroes is really impressive.
Very impressive stuff. The Broken Myth, the Eve of Harvest, the 2 items we're looking for that Scarf to complete. Riki Meza, Game 1, I mean, he needs to make up for that performance. Dynasty Gaming, I don't know if they know where Mouse are, actually. Well, yeah. Mouse is going to jump forwards. Mowgli taking the serious amount of damage. That Drifting Dark doing good splash damage. They jump in, Dragon Breath coming out. They're going to melt time to do them down. This is Dynasty Gaming. They were waiting with bated breath. They knew all along, Shingy. Apfel will go down, double kill over here for Riki Meza, and he's gonna chase it. Woo! Sonic Zoom, whoop! They're gonna dodge that out. Goop's down, whoop! They're gonna dodge that out. Apfel 1-2, almost. Apfel trying to make the plays, but in the end, it's Dynasty Gaming taking the ace and just really coming alive here. They were just biding their time.
I mean, from the start of that fight, everyone was like, okay, Dynasty Gaming, they are retreating, there's nothing they can do, and they just had a complete turnaround. We saw Mowgli using his Divine Intervention, and then PT Lamb just dove straight in. He was in the middle of a bulwark against all 3, did not have a care in the world because he was absolutely doing work there, and that's exactly the opportunity that they need, for them to be distracted by PT Lamb, allow Rikamitsa to turn around using his Dragon's Breath as well. And because there wasn't that much shielding, it was doing a lot in those team fights. And this is kind of the opportunity that Dynasty Gaming need, for PT Lamb to get right in the forefront, as he did there, and Rikamitsa just poke from the background.
So good. Plus, he had his infusion ready to go. They knew what they were doing, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen here in the next few moments. Dynasty Gaming, obviously very capable of taking these fights handedly. Mouse now have the knowledge that their opponents might turn up the aggression onto them at any moment. This means they're going to play a little bit differently. Currently, they are on the gold miner, and this should be going their way, but this is going to be a turret going down as they've decided to make this trade. Apfel drops off the gold miner too late to the lane, and he'll farm up like a couple lane minions, but that is some like serious miscommunication there.
There's miscommunication. They were able to get the gold mine there, and Dynasty Gaming, they've evened the backups to still 2k gold difference between the two teams, but in terms of playing field, turrets wise, it's completely even now. And Mowgli, he does have that divine intervention now. He is level 8, and this is a worrying point here from Mousesports, because they need to focus a particular member down right now. Because it's the triple poke comp coming up from Mousesports, they're going to struggle to be able to do that. They do have the arcing passage, but if they can't get on top of Rukametsa and focus him down, they're going to have problems in the future team fights.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have some problems. It's this. It almost like, assuming like everything else is just executing as it should, this kind of comes down to Apfel for me, because it's going to be all about his positioning. Can he dodge on points and spitfires and dance and zigzag his way through this obstacle course of damage to get onto a key target, right? You can imagine Mowgli probably is going to be looking to heal up PT Lamb, but maybe you can switch focus onto Riki Meza at a crucial point in the fight. It's all coming down to Apfel's mechanical abilities here. Spitfire, 1-2, both connect onto Apfel. It's not what he's looking for. And just constantly, Riku Meza continues to throw these out. He's building up broken mist stacks. That one connects onto Ghost. Mouse is going to be able to move backwards here. A precarious position to be in.
A very precarious position. He had 5 broken mist stacks, level 11 crystal infusion as well. And Apfel, he's only one with a kinetic shield. I'm the Doom just hitting on that armor there, so we can certainly see that I was doing a lot in those team fights. But allowing themselves to be hit by that Spitfire like that is a very dangerous position for Mousesports to be in. They're staying very well pumped up together, and that's ideal for a Scarf.
Oh, it's absolutely ideal for the Scarf. And then at any point, should Mowgli choose to Benedict himself into the fight, and Holy Nova, he's really got a good job. Now, PT Lamb taking a lot of damage, but they just go and sustain and heal him up. They jump forward. This is Go taking a lot of damage. Apfel, you got to reposition. Apfel, you got to get out of here. He can't do it. PT Lamb takes him down. Riki Meza will take Ghost 83 down as well. Dynasty Gaming take 2, lose none. I'm the Doom's gonna be in his Drifting Dark, throws out his Mouth Verdict, his Benediction comes forward. Holy Nova catches him on the edge, into the goop, and he goes down. That's a combo.
That is a combo, and Dynasty Gaming pulled it off very dirtily there. With that ace there, 6-3, they're going to get the second tower. They're evening up the gold lead as well, so they're now actually 200 gold ahead. And I think with that team fight, I'm just going to go back to this triple poke composition, because the moment that Dynasty Gaming, because they have that Grace and they have that Black Feather there, who have the ability to dive straight onto the members, they have that crowd control coming out from that Holy Nova as well. We did see the War Chest coming out, but I feel like we're not seeing the bulwark being used to its full potential to prevent these dives from happening. And I think if they were able to block them, that does allow the chance. Sorry, that does give Mousesports a chance to disengage from those team fights. But right now, because they aren't able to block them completely, it's leaving them in a very awkward position. They are losing those team fights. They are triple poke. It's a triple poke. You want to be able to stack up their. You want to be able to stack up that breaking point and that broken myth, but we're not seeing that right now.
It's really hard, I think, for Apfel to start to stack that up. I mean, it's almost like commit and then you just go. Now, he's got a couple breaking point stacks here. There's the wait for it. They've silenced up, like, pull the trigger and go. Go, kill somebody right now. The Atlas Pauldron was applied on the Black Feather, but it's timed out. PT Lamb, you can go if you want. Oblivion did put Mowgli to sleep, and Dragon's Breath really not connecting on anybody. This is a very interesting little fight here. It seems like a lot of abilities not quite connecting, but the Malice of Verdict splashing onto Riki Meza as well as PT Lamb. Oh, you're doing a very good job right now, Doom. Can you follow up? Apfel, he's on target. You can tell Mouse really want to find a kill, and they're gonna. Oh, the on point keeps it alive. PT Lamb, no, defensive backwards, but the attacks are there. You can't get away from Mouse. What are you thinking? Come on, Mousesports. Look at this. They're gonna put some damage out. They're gonna take this turret down. I would imagine Sigil's going to heal them up. They move back. The Goop's down. Doom, you're standing, and Goop, Doom, you're burning. Hands are in the air. Not like this. Fellfish broke back. Ghost probably goes down as well. He's trying to juke back and forth. Double kill there for Riku Meza in the end. Apfel's able to get out of it. So, kind of an interesting trade in the end. Mousesports up in net worth, just slightly down in kills. And this is going to be a Kraken attempt here coming out of Dynasty.
Yeah, Vox, the only one left on the map there from Mousesports as well. And to be honest, I'm not expecting much contest. I think he could potentially take down Rukametsa and Mowgli, because Rukametsa are very low on energy, but PT Lamb's here now.
Apfel do it.
Oh no, no, he doesn't.
Womp, womp, womp.
Heal of the Sanctuary if he was able to manage that. But I think that the start of that very prolonged team fight kind of shows what happens when everybody kind of misses their skills. Because that is essentially what happened. All the ultimates were thrown out and they kind of missed, to be honest. Like, the Dragon's Breath was a little bit too far away. Mowgli was forced to use his fountain very early.
Yep.
And Mousesports were able to turn that around, but then they stayed a bit too long, and then Dynasty came back and then turned that around. So extremely scrappy fights now coming out from both teams.
Well, they need to be scrapping at this point. Doom, I wish he was holding that Drifting Dart, but it's okay at this point. He's infused up. There's going to be a jump in there by PT Lamb, and he immediately repositions back into a safer position. Apfel trying to hit him with the Sonic Zoom, not going to connect. As Mouse moved back, kiting back, getting damage off, stutter stepping, getting the damage onto this Kraken. Rikumeza, he just needs a Spitfire. He just needs to land a goop, ignite that goop, get some good damage down. One Vein Crystal turret remaining at this point. Dynasty Gaming, are they going to hang around? Mouse, are you going to pull the trigger and go? Wait for it, it's going to be actually blocked up. But Apfel, he's not in the position with his team. No, this is Doom dropping low. Doom kiting backwards. Apfel actually finds Rikumeza on the top side. He's re-engaged. He's 13, 14 breaking point stacks. Apfel, get it. Mowgli, you're just stacked 15. So it get to 16 breaking point stacks. Your stacks on his breaking point at this point. Divine Intervention will come through. I think that turret was going to fall anyway. So in the end, they just stay on to Mowgli. The Vein Crystal will heal up. Mouse still alive.
Still alive. Crystal left, and they're the ones with the gold lead. And what we see here is Ghost. He's been forced to pick up those scout traps, which definitely to be doing considering that you are forced back to the crystal. But we kind of saw what Apfel was able to do once he was able to build up those breaking point stacks. What was he setting at? What was that last number you screamed? Was it 15 that you screamed out? 14, 15? It was a lot.
That's my basic talking voice.
Sorry.
And it was no screaming there. 15 or 16? I think it was 16 breaking point stacks.
It was 16 breaking point stacks. And he was able to do a lot there in those team fights. Once he was able to isolate the members aside, I mean, Rikumeza, if he's able to get on top of him, who has no armor, he was going down like a ton of bricks there. PC Lam a little bit more difficult to take off, but Mousesports, they need to win this team fight. And if Mousesports can just bait out those skills ahead, as they did in that last team fight, then that is exactly what they need to stay in this game.
I mean, Mouse, this is a team that loves a good comeback. And we've seen them behind in games. They just hold tight, take 1, 2, 3 good fights in a row.
Oh, and
Mowgli jumping in with the Benediction. He's going to look for the Holy Nova. He finds the stun. What are you doing, Doom? What are you doing? Why are you there? That's not what you want. Ghost is going to go down. Okay. Gave him the Caster Curse. Apfel is like, okay, team, do you see what you've done? You see what you've made me do, team? Now I must jump back in because this is my last resort. Ace for Dynasty. A dominating performance. And it makes you like kind of wonder, I mean, how much of a shot caller is Just Man on this Mouse squad?
I think he's looking at the way they've been performing. I think there's been a major he's a key player in this team, and it's 2-0. It's a 2-0 win there for Dynasty Gaming, and considering that the kind of differential between the first team, which is Mousesports, they have 19 points, SK they have 13, and there's a significant difference, and they've lost a little bit of that gap now. Dynasty Gaming, they've got a good chance of moving up from 4th in the standings, up to even maybe 3rd, 2nd after this weekend.